really, really challenging. I used to walk around the backstage and everything, looking for things to kick and jump up and down and bash, and just to get myself in the mood to do it.
You were famously involved with Jeff Wayne's War of the World with Thunderchild. I mean, how did that project come about? How were you invited into that, and what was it like being part of what became, and again, another groundbreaking kind of moment in rock?
Well, that was fantastic, of course. The lyric writer on that was a guy called Gary Osborne, and Jeff also had a jingles company who did advertisements and stuff, and I worked with Gary doing some stuff for him as well, some jingle singing and everything. And so he asked Jeff, he suggested for a couple of the jingles that Jeff was doing, he said, "Why don't you ask Chris?" So I went and worked with Jeff, and we did two or three very successful jingles together. And so when the War of the Worlds thing came up, I think they got Justin Hayward to do Forever Autumn, and they needed a rockier voice. So they asked Justin, and he said, "Oh, why don't you ask?" And I always forget his name, the other guy from Moody Blues. Oh, doesn't matter. They
John
asked him to
Lodge.
do, yeah, exactly. They asked him to, thank you. They asked him to sing it, which he did. But Jeff was not kind of satisfied with it. So Gary said, "Why don't you ask Chris?" So I went along, and they played me the track, and Jeff explained to me what he wanted. And as I said before, I was lucky enough to be able to, because I'd sung every kind of style, I was able to interpret what Jeff wanted and sing Thunderchild, which was incredibly difficult. And Jeff was like this picky master of what he had in his mind. Unbelievable and great. I loved working with Jeff. He was really, I think we became friends over the years. I think because I worked with him on some other projects as well. And so anyway, I think I worked, I don't know, 10 hours or something on that vocal.
Oh,
He
wow.
wanted to he wanted to feel so it felt like you were on the ocean and you were moving. So the time, it wasn't like it wasn't da 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 da. It wasn't that. It was ba ba da 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 ba 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 da da ba da. So it was like on a wave and everything like that. So that was with every line I was going through. No, a little bit this, a little bit that, and yeah, I think we worked for about 10 hours. We did have a lunch break, I'm sure, but anyway, so we worked with it. And we listened to it through, I think it was, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night or something like that. And Jeff said, "Yeah, yep, I'm really happy with that. What are you doing tomorrow?" I said, "Well, I'm not doing anything, I don't think. I've got, And he said, "Well, can you come and double track it for me?" Now, I don't know whether you know how difficult it is to double track something that's in 4/4, but it wasn't still in 4/4, but it had the movement. And I just said, "How can I?" He said, "Oh, I'll come back." It took us 2 days to do that, 2 days to double track it. But that was the sound he heard, and that was the sound he wanted, and that was the sound we got. And it was on an album that was incredible, really, a breakthrough concept rock album with such a fantastic band. Herbie Flowers, Chris Spedding, the different drummers, and just you know, I can't remember his name, but the guy that did the keyboards, he actually built a keyboard to do all the oohs and all the wee wee sounds and all that on the record. He actually built it, and it was just a fantastic thing to be involved in, and then to get Phil in it to sing, amazing,
Yeah.
and and all the other people that sang, it was just brilliant.
It's
And of
really interesting
course,
to
we
hear
did
you
it
talk about your
live.
experience there with Jeff, because it's almost like you're describing what you did with Manfred as well, with being so picky and him having something in his head exactly how he wants it to sound,
Yeah,
and how he kind of changed and things like that. I did have a question actually I was going to ask you, because obviously you've worked with so many different people, from Alan Parsons to Gary Moore and Robin Trower, Steve Hackett, Mike Oldfield. on and on and on and on. And I was going to ask, is there a particular collaboration that challenged you the most? But it sounds like you worked with a lot of challenging people.
I think Jeff challenged me the most. I
Yes.
think. And live wise as well, we had to do it live. It was very difficult to wait around for 40 minutes and then sing something that finishes in the highest note I can sing. That was challenging, really, really challenging. I used to walk around the backstage and everything looking for things to kick and jump up and down and bash and just to get myself in the mood to do it, you know. I think that was Jeff was the hardest taskmaster, I think. But the thing about Jeff, excuse me, the thing about Jeff was he had this whole vision of everything, not just, because he knew the book backwards. The script and stuff for Richard Burton to do. He held it all, and he knew how it was all going to fit in. And I think that's what made him so special with what he did. Whereas Manfred was always kind of searching around for, the vibe, as I said to you
Yeah.
before. Jeff knew exactly what he wanted, and that was why he was one of the hardest people to work with. And I worked with him and his father on another project called Spartacus. 4 years or 5 years we worked on that, singing these ridiculous kind of things that he had the same thing. It's totally vision. And with his father was writing, whose father was a vaudeville actor and singer, very clever, talented man. Lovely to meet him. And I never forget one time had trouble singing this line. I can't remember what it was. It would be funnier if I could remember what it was. But I just couldn't fit the words in the music. And I came and I said, Jeff, I can't sing that line. And his father said, yes, you can. Okay, I said, went back in and sang it. So yeah, it was really great. I mean, Alan Parsons was wonderful to work with. I loved working with Alan, singing those fantastic songs. Lucky man I was to do that and go and sing it all around the world. It was really fantastic.